Today's presentation is going to revolve around three or four topics. First being the rising power of a new generation, and that is the electoral power. We'll talk about that. We'll share with you three or four slides or one or two slides from Beacon Economics forecast for California. If you remember, Beacon did the fiscal and economic study for the Tri-City area for our association. We will also talk about what we don't talk a lot about, which is the lock-in effects of capital gains, touch on some NAR advocacy, and then circle back to RAF contributions, which is really the most important part of the presentation. Berkeley Initiative for Young Americans just did a study, and they found out that the millennials and Gen Z voters will make up half of the American electorate in about 3 years' time. This is a huge uh, um, turn of events, and it's important that we all are aware of it. Now, if you look at the life cycle chart, millennials in 2025, at least, are between the ages of 13 and 29. I'm sorry, Gen Z 13 and 29, millennials 29 and 44. And if you look at the man with the cane, that's where my age falls in. But having said that, we will move forward. Now, what does this all mean for Glendale? Well, 45% of the renters in city of Glendale are millennials. About 7 or 8% are basically Gen Z. As far as high propensity voters in city of Glendale, only about 6,000 households of millennials are high propensity voters compared to homeowners at about 13,000. So you remember we've talked about the composition of the voters in Glendale, 55% homeowners and about 45% or so renters. Beacon Economics just released their California forecast. As you can see, our unemployment in California is at 5.4% versus nationally, which is 3.95% or just under 4%. Remember, city of Glendale, the unemployment rate in Glendale is 5.9%, which is higher than the national and higher than the California average. Why is this important? I want to share with you two industry groups that contribute to the GDP of California. The first one being real estate. This is, in a nutshell, what we all do. Whether we buy, we lease, we manage, we sell real estate, this is how we are categorized. And if you look at the percentage change, even though we've had a tumultuous 2 or 3 years, be it from the lawsuits and so forth, and the interest rates going up the way that they have, you will see not much change has occurred. In other words, we have not lost a lot of people in the industry. We have, even on local level, lost some, but it's not a huge change. The second group is the construction group. And it's important to note that in the first quarter, which is reporting the quarter number 4 of last year, we had a drop in the construction of about 2.2%. Undoubtedly, this is because of the immigration enforcement and so forth. But as you can see, again, the change, at least so far, we don't know what the future will hold, but so far, it is not as much as the media makes it to be. Now, I want to show you which group contributes the most to the California GDP. The number one group is the information, internet, news outlets, so on and so forth. Guess what, folks? Your business, real estate, is the number 2 highest contributor to the California GDP at 13.4%. Our GDP is about $3.3 trillion a year, right? We are the fourth or the fifth largest economy. And real estate in the first quarter of 2025 made up 13.4% of the California GDP. This is what you do. This is how important you are to the economy of this of our state. And I just wanted to share that with you because at times it's lost on you what we do for our state and how we do it for our state. I want to talk a little bit about capital gains. This is the big deal right now. Conversations are going on about it. And we all know as realtors that capital gains is something that affects homeownership when it comes to time if one wants to sell their primary residence. We have talked a lot about mortgage lock-in effect. What we haven't done, by the way, is talk about the capital gains lock-in effect. And it's important for you to know a couple of two or three things. According to NAR research, by 2035, 70% of homeowners would be above the exclusion, which is 250,000 for singles and about 500,000 for married couple, the exclusion for capital gains. Do you think this contributes to the lock-in effect? Of course it does, right? And now, though, we know as realtors that building equity should not come with a penalty. In fact, it should come with opportunity. So releasing or allowing capital gains to be changed to something that affects inventory, releases inventory, and allows first-time buyers to get into the market is of utmost importance. We keep talking about generational wealth and how we celebrate it, how we celebrate property ownership, how we celebrate the passing of this generational wealth from one generation to the other. It is precisely for that reason that right now NAR is working on the More Homes on the Market Act, which is House Resolution 1340. This is a bipartisan act, and it has been going on for about 2-3 years that I know of. But the most important thing is the other resolution that has been introduced, and Sebak sent me information on it before I found out about it, and that's Marjorie Greene's resolution of eliminating federal capital gains tax entirely on primary home sales, not your second home, but primary home sales. Either one of these, if it happens, it's going to be terrific for your industry. It is going to help you sell a lot of inventory, and it's going to allow, especially your seniors, right, that own homes that do not sell because they are confronted with a huge capital gains tax.